I moved into this house about 4 years ago, and it had a koi pond in it, and I really liked that. And then as I got more into it, I started to get into the whole history of koi, and it's a whole world. And I wanted more and a bigger pond. As we decided to remodel the backyard, I was like, all right, cool. Now we're gonna demo the pond and make it bigger so I can get more cool koi. So when I decided to redo the pond, I called Coral Reef Incorporated, who was taking care of the pond. And the guy, Tony there, who owns the company, he introduced me to Jose, who owns a company called JC Landscapes. And they do these really elaborate ponds and pools.
I remember when I got there my first time and talked to Jeff, it was like a small pond, narrow on one end. And he was explaining to me, I want something bigger. I want to bring big fish. And I was thinking, okay, I know what we can build here. So before we do any demolition, anything, if we have to use bender board or spray or where exactly the ponds go, they know exactly where to start digging. We know exactly what we need to demo for excavation.
So in the process of revamping his backyard, Jeff has decided to make his pond a true show pond. So we're going from about 2,000 gallons to about 10,000 gallons and really expanding the entire footprint of the pond, but also making little artistic choices in making it look natural and placing boulders in certain areas. And Jeff chose certain stone and has really like specific design notes about how much grass he wants between the pool and the pond. And to see this happen, so fast is really fun, but also it's a little daunting because there's so many aspects to making this perfect.
This is the boulder and flagstone end.
That's a good point. Why don't we keep it original, and then once it's dug out, see what it would look like with a boulder there. We're not committed to it.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. But
That's good.
Okay. So just keep the original 32 inches.
and follow this curve, or
Do you want a little bump out, or just keep it natural? Like here, let me show you again.
give a little.
The whole time I was like, bigger, let's make it bigger and crazier. And then we sort of mapped it out, but then they demoed, and I wasn't here when they demoed it. I was out of town, and it looked crazy to me. It looked so big. So at that point I was like, God, I've lost my mind.
I want to say that everyone kind of worked really well together. Once the project started, multiple meetings out there, just designing it, and I think Nick from Infinity Aquarium was also, Jeff really respects, his knowledge and was involved in the process as well. So just putting all these great heads together to come up with a great, koi pond.
I didn't realize how crazy it was going to be. I'd never watched actually a pond get built. And then they brought this truck in and just blasted it with so much cement at such a high velocity. It was like 3,000 PSI that was just blowing out of this hose. And it's almost 12 inches thick. And then they shape it, and I've just never seen anything like it.
We want to build a beautiful pond, and also with the access, to bring big material to set the biggest boulder we can set, to make it beautiful and natural. So that's one of the challenges, you have to find a way how you can bring machine and what type of machine you can bring.
Really, this whole pond took a team. I mean, Jose was the artist behind this and decided where every rock, whether small or huge, was placed.
I can visualize how the water runs on between boulders because of the country where I'm coming from. I grow in an area where there is hundreds of waterfalls. We decide to do a mini pebble finish. That's the last thing we do, install the mini pebble inside. And then we do a acid wash, the mini pebble, cleaning everything, and then start filling up the pond with water.
So when we built the pond, we had to take my original fish and put them into a temporary pond. And when the pond was finally finished, those were the first fish to go in. I've been getting fish from all over the country. I got a bunch from Somas Koi in California. I got a bunch from Barstow Koi. And now I've got like 7 new koi coming from Fitz's Fish Ponds from New Jersey. So the fish from New Jersey are bagged in water with compressed oxygen, then put in a box, and they fly cargo. And then you got to go pick them up at the airport in the cargo bay, and then haul them over here. So it's like they're in the bags for like 12 hours.
The box. Ready? 1, 2, 3. So they have been on a journey from New Jersey here to Los Angeles, and right now we're just floating them to adjust the temperature to the new pond and introduce them to their new home, finally. With this pond, it was special because I really got to witness Jeff go on a journey with his koi. But little by little, Jeff started to get introduced to different types of koi, different levels of koi, and the culture that's embedded into the koi hobby. What I mean by that is that it's not just something that you go down to the pet store and find a goldfish that you like. No, this extends all the way to different countries. The koi that were selected for this pond all come from different breeders around the world. Some from here in Southern California, some from the mountaintops in Japan. And when you learn about the lineage of all of these fish and the endless hours of effort and care that go into perfecting their appearance and their health, you become more enthralled with how this hobby becomes a total experience and even a lifestyle for some.
I'm absolutely over the moon with how it turned out. It's ridiculous. I would say it's my midlife crisis, but I'm probably not going to live to be 120, so it's a little past my midlife crisis. But it's a ridiculous thing to do, but I'm really happy with it. The fish got a big upgrade in their quality of life.
And what I like about Jose is that, he just demands quality from his employees and everyone that works for him. The subs he brings in, I think he's put a great team together, and I don't think Jeff's Pond could be better.
This is something special for him. I am so happy with the finished creation we did with waterfall and ponds.